So much has changed since we last talked. Like New York City, I feel, which you still live in.
Sadly.
Sadly,
yes. Literally, AOC is my congressperson, and Mamdani is my assemblyman. I literally live in the belly of the beast.
No,
I do. I say I fight in the front line. I am a Marine, so I'm in the front lines. That's what I'm doing. Someone's got to be it, right? Someone's got to fight. Everyone else runs away.
Everyone bails. Everyone goes to Florida.
They leave.
The Carolinas.
They all leave. But
Pennsylvania.
I do stay, and it is tough. And people, they wonder why Mamdani won. And they say,
why? Well, some people say it was his boyish good looks. Some people, I think it was because he has a great font. The font he picked out.
The font is nice. I mean, you're not wrong.
The font is on point.
Not wrong. But with the font and all, the reality of it is when people are desperate and they have no idea and a bad idea, they take the bad idea.
Why?
Because it's an idea. Right? When you're drowning and someone puts a hand out and says, hey, I'm going to pull you out. You don't care.
Or like
that's a left or right hand or whatever.
No inflatable tube versus a half inflated tube.
Correct.
You're like, I'll take that.
Yes, I'll take whatever I can get here.
Something
and
to grab on.
I think you see that with Mamdani. And, look, whether you like the left-leaning, politicians or not, they have good rhetoric. Their stuff sounds really good. Right? We're going to have free buses, and then we're going to freeze the rent, and we're going to have these cool stores you can buy stuff in. Oh my God, it's amazing. He doesn't say government run stores. He says public stores. They're great.
Public, free.
It's going to be nice.
Take what you need.
Everyone's going to have a puppy, and then there's going to be leprechauns and unicorns. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be like, take a penny, leave a penny. Except with food.
Difference. Yes. Except we're all going to be starving. Besides that, it's take a penny, leave a penny.
But you're
That's it.
Fight your neighbor for a stale hamburger.
But it does sound good. And when people are in trouble and desperate, they tend to take it, right? One of the hardest parts about conservatives in New York is
that they're gone.
Well, those that are remaining, the few that remain, is they're bitter, and people don't want to follow bitter people. They're bitter.
True.
If you look at a lot of conservatives running, what do? And this is how bad it is, and blah blah blah. And Kathy Hochul's evil, and Cuomo's bad. That's all they say. There's no difference in that than Democrats at the national level just yelling "Orange man bad."
Wow.
Same thing. If you look in New York State, the Republicans and the conservatives in New York State are the same as the Democrats nationwide. You get Democrats nationwide, they don't have any plans. Their plans are, but Trump is evil. That's their entire plan, right? Oh, but everything you're saying makes no sense. But Trump is evil. Oh, okay. That's their whole plan.
Yeah.
You come to New York State, what do Republicans and conservatives say? Well, Cuomo's bad.
Wow.
Well, Hochul's bad. I'm going to ask you, think about this. You know Mamdani's plans. You just spoke about it. Tell me one Republican plan in New York State.
I don't even know who's running.
Correct. That's the problem. They had no plan. In fact, they weren't even ready for this. The Republicans had a chance here in New York City this time. They weren't ready for it. Who's running?
I don't know.
Thank you. Right? I know who's running. It's Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa, yes.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. I know Curtis.
I know him too.
Curtis.
He's a friend of mine. I like Curtis. I do.
I know who he is.
But you get my point.
He should be running. He's a great guy. He's run multiple times.
He is great. But you, again, my point. You know him and you didn't. And you couldn't say it. That's my point. They weren't running. Why? New York City is 6-1 Democrat to Republican.
Oh, that's so
6-1. It's hopeless. So why bother?
It's Kathy Hopeless.
Yes. So why bother? Right. So they look. Sliwa is a trooper. He's going to run to take the L for Republicans. I get it. That's why he ran. But he wasn't thinking about a serious campaign. No, look, if you happen to be watching Sliwa, no shade, brother. You know I love you. I'm just saying we know what's up. We know what's up. It wasn't the real campaign. Now all of a sudden Mamdani wins and the Republicans are like, now what do we do? We should have ran somebody. They didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if Sliwa actually drops out.
Why would he drop out? Because he'll hear this episode and get so upset.
Let me tell you what happened in Buffalo 4 years ago. 4 years ago, a woman named India Walton, she wins the Democratic primary. She's a far leftist, just like Mamdani. Same thing happens in Buffalo. Buffalo, for those of you who aren't in New York State, is our second largest city, right? New York first, then Buffalo. She wins, and the establishment loses their mind, right? They're like, what? We're going to have a communist? Oh, remember the DSA? The same thing we saw here happen in Buffalo. Nobody across the country cared because it was Buffalo, it wasn't New York City. Well, the Buffalo people cared tremendously about that. So the establishment Democrat is a guy named Byron Brown. He's like, I'm sorry, I screwed up. You guys got to help me. I didn't know she was going to beat me. I had no idea. Basically what happened with Cuomo. Same thing.
Wow.
So it's a similar thing. What happens? He convinces the Republicans to drop and back him in a write-in campaign.
Oh,
Because he couldn't be on the ballot because he wasn't ready for the ballot.
That never worked.
Except this time, he is the current mayor of Buffalo.
So people did write him in.
That's how much they all got together. They all got together against her. Republicans and some Democrats together against her in a write-in campaign beat her. If you look now, Byron Brown is the current mayor of Buffalo. Wow. That could happen here. That's why I'm saying it's possible Sliwa drops out. He drops out so that Eric Adams can be the uniter of the clans and beat Mamdani. Eric Adams is the only guy who
I like how you mentioned Eric Adams and then the Klan together.
Yes, because he can unite them. See that? Even the hooded ones. He can unite them all. Doesn't matter which ones.
But wait, haven't people soured on Eric Adams?
Yes, which is why. See, Adams is the smartest guy. Adams didn't run Democrat. People didn't know why. I told everybody why. Because that means he will be on the ballot in November. Usually, if you lose the primary, you're off the ballot. You're done. Adams knew this was going to be a disaster. So he was savvy. He was like, okay, I'm just going to wait. Because I'm the mayor. He's the mayor of the city. So he has incumbency.
Right.
So he can use all of our taxpayer dollars to run his campaign.
Oh, right.
Right? Brilliant. Right? He can still do it. So he doesn't need Cuomo's money.
Fair. You get like a huge leg up.
That's funny. Fair. That's funny.
Because
fair.
Right, the system is not really created in a way that the average poor regular person can run.
Yeah, us poors can't do it. It's not a thing. We're not made. Yeah, I tried. You saw me get my ass kicked. I tried more than once.
I feel like it takes, but you have to. We were just talking about Trump. Like it took him so many times. Like he's on his. Well, he ran and won technically 3 times, but it just, it takes multiple times to run to figure out what to do, what not to do. There's so much to know.
And the problem is the average person thinks that the rules are made to be fair, right? So they'll say, well, we need, here's all the time, we need more rules on things like, campaign finance. Campaign finance laws are just made to punish the weak guy. Right? Because if I'm wealthy or I have a massive system, what happens? Well, I have a group of people who know exactly the laws. They wrote them. So they know exactly how to fix it. Me, I have to get literally a CPA to learn everything. Or I've got a lawyer I got to pay him for that. Or I have to have a true believer. Every single time I run, I get fined. Every time. Of course. For
what?
For whatever. There's rules like, if it's this type of expenditure, it must be reported within 24 hours. But this kind of expenditure, it can be reported at the end of the month. But this expenditure, if it's over $100, then that you don't have to have their name. But this expenditure, you do have to have their name. All depends on what it is. All different rules. So of course I'm going to screw it up.
Wow.
Of course I am. And here's what happens. When you screw that rule up, what's the thing they say? Oh, campaign finance, ethics, whatever, right? All of a sudden now I'm an ethics guy because I didn't know that
an ethics violation.
This expense is supposed to be $100, but that expense is $50. So that's why I don't even care. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to pay a fine and keep moving.
That's ridiculous.
I don't even care.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how the whole system works. It's broken.
Mamdani, to me, he showed up out of nowhere with a cute
I
face.
had him on my show 3 years ago.
But you're saying he's existed for a while.
Yes,
he's been around.
I knew he was going to be a player. Let me pump if I could pump my show for a minute. For those of you who want to watch my show, please check it out. You can check out my show on the Sharpe Way YouTube page or on Larry Sharpe. Either one. Sharpe Way's the cooler one. Do that one. And actually put in Zohran Mamdani. I actually interviewed him about 3 years ago. I knew he was a player back then. He was my somethingman then. Why? Because he was a socialist with charisma.
Which seems like an impossible combination.
Correct. It's very rare. The only one I've seen in a long time has been Bernie. Right? Bernie's been the only one.
If we're saying Bernie has charisma, ugh.
Well, it's relative, right? And right now, if you look right now at the Democrat Republican parties, the Republican Party, they have a deep bench. They have a lot of people who could step up and do things. Democratic Party has nobody.
Why do they have no bench?
Because they don't have any charisma. They don't have any plans. They have nothing that's happening. Right? The Democratic Party. Sucks. Well, the problem is the Democratic Party is heavily. You see, so in 2016, it's much more about tradition. It's much more about seniority. That kind of thing, right? So only the old people do anything.
Right.
Now,
that's why Pelosi is 100 years old. Correct. And still out
Republicans
there doing
were that way. Trump broke that. If you can't make impact, the world doesn't care. People always tell me, Larry, you should run for this, run for that. Why? Well, you might win. No, I might waste my time, money, and energy. I run when I can make impact. I made impact in 2018. I believed I could make impact in 2022. Clearly, I did not, but I ran because I thought I could. If I run again in 2026, it'll be because I think I can make impact. You should run to make impact, not for some vanity, run or because I'm the purest libertarian. And we run for that shit. I'm a purer libertarian than you. I'm going to give a libertarian message. Nobody gives a shit. I don't mean to be
No, non-libertarians don't care at all.
They don't care.
They don't have the bandwidth to understand
and I don't care.
what's happening.
Can you solve a problem for them? That's why Mamdani wins and libertarians don't. Because Mamdani says, I'll solve a problem for you. Now, it's a bad problem, a bad solution. I don't agree with it. But he will tell you, oh, you have a problem? I'll give you a free bus. Oh, okay.
He's going back to the old free stuff.
Yeah, I'll give you free stuff. Okay, that's libertarians go, and get the government out of it, and see, I'm libertarian. Well, then what about my problem? Well, government's bad. Okay, great. What about my problem? Government's bad.
It doesn't seem realistic that we're going to get the government out of it.
But I have plans to get the government out. But if you notice, all my plans have an actual response. People do fall down. People do get unlucky. People make mistakes, all those things.
Yeah.
People do need help. So if you just go get government out, people go, so the people die? No, I give you an answer on how to solve problems without government. You can raise money without government. You can do things more effective. The government always thinks the same way. Government is not good at solving a problem. It's good at servicing people. What does it mean? That means it's good at writing you checks, right? Government does several things well. One, kill people, particularly in mass. Very good. If you ever say to yourself, you know what, I'd love to just kill a lot of people. Do you care if it's indiscriminate? Indiscriminate's better. Like, indiscriminate, oh, got you, government best, right? Second, imprison people. Very good at that. Can we imprison people? Can we make it racial or something? Yes. Oh, we got you covered. Doesn't matter. Is it religious? Yes, we'll do that too. They don't care. They're very good at imprisoning. So those two things are good. Next, making things slow because of paperwork. So good. If you say, you know what I have a problem? I am way too efficient. Oh, we will fix that.
Let's add more people to the mix.
And lastly, writing checks. Government writes checks better than anybody, better than banks. Government writes checks like no tomorrow. They're great at it. That's why every single solution to every problem for the government is one of those four. Put somebody in jail. I'm going to kill somebody. Put some paperwork. Write a check. That's it. That's what it does well. That's always the answer. The problem is that doesn't solve a problem.
Sometimes you just need a hug.
Sometimes you need a hand up.
Right.
Right? And a hand up. What does that? Community. When you have a community help, here's the difference. If you're in trouble and you say, Larry, I'm in trouble. Can you do me a favor and help me? And I go, yeah, of course. What do you need? Next. So I help you. You now want to pay that forward because I helped you. If we're in a community...
Some people don't. Some people just want to take checks and then not work ever.
Not if it's a community, and that's my point.
Okay.
If it's government, that's different. If you say...
Right, because government is nondescript. You don't see them. You don't know who they are.
Bingo.
You don't... it's the government has unlimited money.
Not just that. I'm a citizen, so it's my rights. I deserve this because I'm an American. It's entitled to this. You're entitled to it. In fact, you're going to sue the government. They give you enough. If it's community, you don't do that.
Because you see the people.
You see the people. They're in your community. You're expected. When you have community solutions, people want to pay it forward. That's why if you've ever gone to a nonprofit that does not have a government base, that has a donor base, it's not funded by government grants. All nonprofits that are funded by government they're just government arms that are not unionized, right? But if they have a donor base, every time you go to a gala or something, and what will they show you? Successes. They will show you if it's a charity that...
Oh yeah, the Christian radio station I listen to is all
bingo. They will...
K-Love.
They will show you successes. They will say, here's how this works. Here's how we save this person or save that problem. But it's government, what will they show you? Stats on how much money they spent.
And that's why we had Doge.
Yes, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yes. Supposedly.
You think there's an ulterior motive?
Did it work?
I don't know.
Thank you.
They supposedly
yet again. That's why I said
a lot
supposedly.
of money.
Yes, that's why I said supposedly. And now Elon Musk is supporting Thomas Massey, which I love.
He follows me on Twitter.
Is that right? Nice.
Shout out to Thomas Massey.
Yes.
I should send him a DM.
You should.
I don't know what I would say,
He's
though.
a nice guy.
I'll have to use GBT to help me figure out what to DM him.
And say, what should I DM Thomas Masty? Yes.
Help me not sound stupid.
Yes.
Michael Gavin Ali just sent in a chat. Do you think I can't say his name without thinking he's
Zohran.
like a magician. Or I'm thinking a Mask of Zorro. That's what I think of.
What you want to think of is after his name, put the Magnificent.
Yes, because he has like,
Yes.
it just sounds like a magician.
Yes.
Do you think
Zohran.
I'm just protesting his name. Mamdani is a larger problem in politics than President Trump? What a stupid question.
but no, his idea is a valid one because they're both symptoms. They're symptoms of us not liking the system. They are.
Yeah.
Trump is a right-leaning answer for a broken system, and Mamdani is a left-leaning answer for a broken system.
And so is AOC.
Correct, but she sold out.
She sold out?
AOC thought.
But she got a mansion like Bernie?
Well, she thought that if she played by the rules, that she could be the one that would be the one who got inside and changed things. And Nancy Pelosi said, "Oh, silly girl," and taught her what was going on. And that's why she's out with Bernie now. She's trying to reestablish her street cred. She's lost her street cred.
So what? AOC sucked up to Nancy
She
Pelosi?
did. Yes. She was supposed to force the vote on Medicare for all. And to be forward, I'm not a Medicare for all fan. But if you run on Medicare for all, you should push Medicare for all. Politicians should do what they say. I don't like Trump's tariffs, but I'm glad he did them. Why? Because he said he was going to do them. You should do what you say. If Mamdani wins, he should push the free buses. You should do what you say. Most politicians talk a bunch of shit, get in power, and do nothing. So if you're going to say it, go do it. And she should have, and she didn't. She didn't push the vote on that. She did not push. She didn't push the vote. She supported Israel when they said don't support Israel. All those, she did all things she wasn't supposed to do. And because Nancy Pelosi pushed her, she agreed. And she thought, oh, it's okay because then I'll get some committee memberships, and then I'll make some moves or do the right thing. And they were like, no, you won't. You aren't senior. You're lucky we don't primary you. That's what they did to her. And she went.
But I can understand how she would think, like, well, if I suck up to the old bag,
Yep.
Pelosi, who's for some reason still working, she'll get ahead.
That's what she thought. But then it didn't work. Bernie did the same thing, got totally screwed over. And then finally, she's like, what am I going to do now? And Bernie said, come with me. We'll do this oligarchy thing. And she raised $4 million.
Wow.
Now, she raised $4 million without Pelosi.
Whoa.
Now she has leverage. In politics, people should understand this. People think politics is about, who has the better ideas. No, politics is the mafia. It's all about leverage. You enforce your contracts via leverage. That's it. And leverage is three things and three things only. Money, votes, and eyeballs. That's it. Money, votes, eyeballs. Do you have those things? You have leverage. You don't have any leverage. What you say doesn't matter. No one gives a shit.
Not if you have great hair.
Nope. If that great hair gets you eyeballs, yes.
Right, true.
If it gets you eyeballs, yes. If it gets you money, yes. Right? So if it gets you those things, and look, to be forward, relative to others, AOC is a good-looking woman with charisma.
She is, yeah.
So with that, she does get eyeballs. She does get money. That's why she's $4 million of her own dollars. She now has leverage. Bernie actually taught her that in the long run. He said, this is what you do. Now, Mamdani has eyeballs that there's no tomorrow now, and he got votes now. Mamdani has leverage. Right? And RFK Jr. now, if you've noticed, RFK Jr. has done very savvy. People haven't noticed this. RFK Jr. has gone to local states now and taken those governors and gotten them on TV.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because now he's leverage. He can get you eyeballs.
Oh,
He's not raising money, and he doesn't have votes. So what does RFK Jr. have? Eyeballs. These guys want those eyeballs so they can raise their money and get votes. So now RFK Jr. becomes valuable. What does that mean? Now someone goes, okay, I'm running for office in whatever, South Carolina. Do I want to bring Trump or not? I don't know if he's toxic or not. You know he's not toxic? RFK, I'll bring him. Now RFK shows up. That's leverage. Yeah. That's how this game is played.
Plus, he's good looking, and he's a candidate.
He is. He is. Guy's in better shape than I am. He's got 20 years on me.
He wants to
I'm sorry, 50 years on me. Sorry, 50 years on me. Sorry, 50
he
years
wants
on
to
me.
get all the red 40 out of our food.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So that's what this game is about, leverage. If you don't have leverage, your contracts mean nothing. And RFK Jr. is now getting leverage. Mamdani is now getting leverage. AOC is getting leverage. Schumer is losing leverage. Schumer's in trouble.
Because he's old, he's crusty.
And people aren't
Every time I see him, he's just complaining.
Yes. People aren't paying attention to him as much. He still has cash. He's got money.
He's a windbag.
But he used to have eyeballs. Now he doesn't anymore. He doesn't have it anymore.
People are just tired of him.
They're tired of him. He doesn't have it anymore. He used to have it. Now he doesn't. Mainstream media used to be in charge of eyeballs. It isn't anymore.
Oh, no eyeballs
Yes.
now.
That's
now
Joe Rogan.
It's just in airports and dentist office.
Not anymore. CNN lost the airport contract. Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's why they're in trouble.
Oh, man.
Yes, they lost the airport contract.
No, nobody's going to watch them.
No one's going to watch them anymore. They are in trouble. CNN's actually trying to get better. If you've looked at CNN, I watch mainstream media because I have to, because of what I do for my job, and it's punishment. But CNN is trying to get better. They're actually trying. You can see their attempt to get better. Which it's not there. They're not even close, but it
feels like too little too late.
It is. But I'm like, okay, you're that desperate. Maybe they're trying to get bought. I mean, MSNBC's trying to get bought, but they can't change.
Yeah, the streaming services are starting to like group together. So maybe that's what will happen with legacy media.
Well, the one thing Fox did well is Fox put out Fox Nation early. Now, Fox Nation is not a great service, but they put it out early. And they gave it away free to first responders and veterans to get eyeballs on them, which was a smart move. So they're good. MSNBC is okay because of one thing. MSNBC has Peacock, right? Which is relatively popular compared to the others. The one who doesn't have anything is CNN has HBO, right? So CNN has HBO, and they're trying to push Bill Maher on that. They're making that Bill Maher switch over.
Oh,
they're trying to make that together to make that work. They're trying to get that HBO, but HBO isn't a news thing, right?
No, yeah.
So, but they're trying to make that happen.
Do you think Zohran is going to win?
I think what may happen is what I told you with that the Buffalo thing, where they may get. You might find Sliwa drop out. You might see Cuomo drop out, and everybody get behind Eric Adams to try to stop Mamdani because they're kind of scared of him. The other part is if Mamdani wins, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound crazy. For anyone watching is in New York, and if you're a Republican, you might want to get a bucket because the person who's gonna save us in New York City is gonna be Kathy Hochul. Yes, I know some of you just threw up. I apologize.
Her face doesn't move.
Exactly. Yes. Well, because she's the same issue we had with de Blasio and Cuomo. People are going to tell you, well, Cuomo's a leftist. He's not a leftist. Cuomo is a Cuomoist. He is whatever is for power. He'd be a Republican tomorrow if you're going to be a libertarian. He'd be a green. He doesn't care. Whatever gets him in power doesn't care. But if you remember de Blasio is a true believer. He's a true socialist. Wow. Mamdani is a true believer. He honestly believes.
How can there be any true believers when it never works?
Well, you don't understand. That wasn't real socialism.
Ugh.
See, that's the issue. You understand? Not real socialism.
I'm gonna really try it.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
But there actually is a change. If you, I have a lot of leftists on my show. I know a lot of leftists, and
why?
Because no, I'll tell you two reasons. Two reasons important why. When it comes to libertarians, the right comes to us faster, but also goes back faster. The left comes to us a whole lot slower, but when the left comes to us, they stay. When they turn, they are true libertarians. And the best example I can give you is Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell used to be a Marxist.
Wow.
Yes. With the information that he had and the education that he had, Marxism made the most sense to him. Then he met people like Thomas Friedman, right? Milton Friedman. And then he started, he worked for the government, he worked for the Department of Labor. And he was like, holy shit, the libertarians are right. And he became a libertarian. He's one of the best libertarian thinkers we have in the entire country.
Yeah.
And he's a Marxist. The left is where we get our best activists from when they turn. Not just that, most leftists actually want to do well. They just don't know how. If you show them and they get it, many of them will turn. So that's, and plus I live in New York City. If I don't turn the left, I can't win.
True.
So I have to turn left. And I can't turn if I can't talk to him. I follow the Daryl Davis model. You know Daryl Davis?
Nope.
Daryl Davis is the guy, he's the black musician who goes and talks to KKK members and turns them into non-KKK members and keeps their hoods as trophies.
Oh, this does sound familiar.
Yes, that guy. He's in Freedom Fest every year. He's amazing. I love him.
Wow.
I'm Freedom Fest ambassador, so I go every year. And he's great. He's my hero. So he says you can't turn him if you can't talk to him. So I can't turn a leftist if I can't talk to him. Got to talk to him.
How do you appeal to a leftist?
With emotion. I'm not joking. Yes, with emotion. Mm-hmm. You tell them that you actually care. There's an old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So let them know you care and focus on outcomes. The reality of it is most leftists actually want the same outcome as everybody else, which is they want better something. They think the answer is lots of government, right? But if you show them another way, they go, would that still get what I want? Yeah. And as a libertarian, I actually don't mind socialism if it is voluntary. The example I'll give you is the Amish, right? In every authoritarian, leftist or right authoritarian, the first people punished are the minorities. And whatever it is, wherever you are, the minorities are. If we get a socialist utopia, the Amish will be punished. If we have a libertarian utopia, they're good. Enjoy. You can leave if you want to. You can be whoever you want. There he is.
Do the Rumspringer. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've definitely seen this guy.
Yes.
In every former Klansman, I see proof that hearts can change
Yep.
and that peace is possible through persistent dialogue. How cool.
That is my hero right there. I follow his model.
Wow.
Yes.
How many Klan members have you turned libertarian?
I haven't turned any so far. I haven't turned any so far. Yes.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.